So I made a big mistake. For some reason I used Krita to make thumbnails, already a massive mistake. But upon downloading the finished product, it would keep the aspect ratio but change the pixel count or the resolution, which somehow correlated to the thumbnail showing up on my screen, but only a screenshot of the video on other accounts. An aspect ratio, if the audience doesn't know, is the two numbers that appear besides the resolution. That's like 3, 4, 19, 16, 9, 1 to 1, which are just numbers that tell you how generally wide or tall the image presentation is. Really stupid YouTube homunculoid magic fuckery, but that's not why the viewer has clicked on the video.
A well-known political activist is suing the city of Concord. Vermin Supreme claims that his First Amendment rights have been violated.
Well, not all the people running for president are names you know or faces you've seen before.
Vermin Supreme will take away your guns and give you better ones.
Frequent presidential primary hopeful Vermin Supreme will get to bring his ponies to a protest outside of that book signing. The city of Concord originally denied him a permit to bring the ponies, but Supreme claimed that violated his First Amendment rights and filed a lawsuit against the city.
This morning, the algorithm has blessed me with Lord Vermin Supreme's great knowledge. I woke up and it was like Christmas morning, drool hanging from my mouth, sweaty yet somehow super dry at the same time, though I was not sad. In my dense forest of notifications, beneath the spam, beneath the feet finder emails, the California fire updates, and the e-hooker spam on Instagram, was a live stream. Lord Vermin's live stream. Whose? Exactly. I had been subscribed to Lord Vermin Supreme since his big hubbub 8 years ago. I'm way too media dependent. I'm fucking terminally online.
An opening 2 minutes to Mr. Vermin Supreme.
Thank you. Gingivitis.
Everybody thinks this man's a fucking loon. A deranged old psychopath who had a megaphone and a boot on his head, which is a reasonable thought process, but that's because that's what he wants us to think of him. Or the state of politics, necessarily. Not exactly us, but the average passerby, or the riffraff that scroll on CNN or Fox News for the headlines that are the next hot take to really rile them up, get them hot and bothered, and back into the mainstream politics hellscape that is the two-party system in the US. But back on the beating path, I watched his live stream. You can too, in the description. I would, of course, link it. I'm not going to steal his content. It seemed like a regular Q&A session, but in the beginning he sips a coffee, and by the end he chuffs a doobie. That being his streaming motto. That alone is already going to make some controversy, but I choose not to disclose my personal preferences on recreational or medicinal drug use for the restraint of bias, as it is still a very hot topic in the US. In the stream, viewers would just type and chat, and Lord Vermin would just kind of talk back and forth. He was sparsely shilling super chats, but his demeanor when doing so was made so purposely so that the viewers didn't feel like there was a major difference in his life if they did. Still thanking though, let me be clear, he still thanked them, just being nonchalant about it. I'm assuming just to make his viewer base not feel so inclined to give him money. Already super charismatic of him, though why does that actually matter or pertain to the slop I'm spinning? My thesis. Lord Vermin Supreme is actually one of the most sensible people in politics. And when I say sensible, the two-party apes are likely to come out of the woodworks and lynch me and my family, but let me elaborate when I discuss topics and invite true debate to the video. Not what our leaders do on the podium, not defaming, defrauding each other, or shitting out insults and smearing on each other's faces. When I say sensible, I mean not so prone to blatant extremism. I'm not saying he's a centrist. I'm pretty sure he was libertarian at some point, but that's no longer true, and he's a socio-anarchist, as his Wikipedia page says. But even centrists, anarchists, and libertarians can be super extreme assholes, so why do I think he's so sensible? In his stream, he gives little tiny fragments into his personal life about he grew up too young to serve in Vietnam, but his father and the general public were very disapproving of the daily broadcasts. The nightly death count of both sides likely cemented his mentality, which he said all of on stream, which I will now show.
Low taper fade, like on the beard, like on the, or hair I could do. Beard is hard to mess with because of the meminess of it all. IDK asking, how did I get into politics? That's a very good question, and thank you for asking. And if you asked it with a super chat, I'd have answered. Nah, just kidding. It's a very good question, and essentially, Not sure. I think just by observing what was going on, grew up in the time of the Vietnam War. I was young. I was too young to get drafted or anything like that. But I was certainly old enough to watch on the television the body counts, the nightly news report of how many people, how many Americans had been killed and how many Vietnamese had been killed. And I think, like many Americans, and I guess my mom and dad were not too thrilled by it, but they weren't vocal protests or anything. But I think that was laying the groundwork for distaste of war for sure. And over the years, I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess just an innate sense of being woke, man, and aware of injustice and how things could be different and should be different. And it was really a long road to hoe, of course. I mean, when I was mayor for a day in high school, I was like made a proclamation against the nuclear power plant in Seabrook, and things like that. Did some protest art in college a little bit. However, didn't get super political, or at least take it on the political realm in earnest until probably into the 90s. I was 87 was my first campaign for mayor of Baltimore, Maryland, and yet it wasn't political at all. So there is that. Thank you. I hope that touches base on your question.
I also commented on a questionnaire about the recent claims of the Oklahoma Senate Bill 484, which claims to reduce homeless outreach funding to cities with populations over 300,000, which only encapsulate Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Personally, as a resident of Stillwater, Oklahoma, I see a lot of homeless people out and about in the shopping plazas trying to scrape by on street corners, and I think that the general lack of outreach in the area would put a lot of pain on the community. But Lord Vermin Supreme responded as anyone would expect.
Oh, AccurateJM, fuck Oklahoma, fuck the anti-homeless laws, fuck the Supreme Court for saying that that cities could legislate away fucking people's right to exist. That's all fucking bullshit. No, will I colonize Mars with ponies and zombies? Yes, I will.
Very displeased with the bill and the senators in charge of it. He is an idealistic extremist about the human condition and human health. Though the stance may be projected by his past begging on street corners for a new megaphone to broadcast his feelings to the media.
Pixie Bunny, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Bring us up to $11, $2. Those $2 super chats, they add up. I'm not going to complain. I mean, hey, it's like free money to me. It's money that you're going to lose, but it's money you're giving to me, so it's sort of like entertainment or something. I don't know how to justify it, but thank you very much. I appreciate the game. I used to spare change on the street. Used to ask people for a spare change so I could get a bigger megaphone. I had a small megaphone at the time, so that was cool.
I'm not really sure if he was homeless when he was begging, but I'm sure it was a justified cause in my book if he lacked the funds to be heard. I can only assume that he was begging at some sort of rally or something under the pretext of acquiring a megaphone. He himself is not homeless at the moment though. He lives in Massachusetts, or so Wikipedia says. Wikipedia has also stated that he has been at the shit for a long time. In 1987, he ran for the mayor of Baltimore and lost, claiming that he had just wanted some sort of project to do or meaning. After this, in every single election since 1992, he has run for the presidential office. He does, of course, have some ideas that even I disagree with, though, but the point of this video is that he believes in them, but he's not shoveling them into his viewers' mouths, like many candidates do. I don't think he's ever actually mentioned his agenda on a news broadcast before. He's just like a troll, and that everything comes out of his mouth on camera is pure fucking gold. He's a troll, but in all of the best ways possible. While it is just a play at shock value and a statement towards the mainstream party candidates of today, it is still very funny and fundamentally enlightening. Everything is a debate now, even the most factual information possible, but rather than truly debate, Lord Vermin steps on stage and lets loose a solo performance, a practical work of art. He states that every vote placed on him is a vote completely thrown away, which is once again likely directly attributed to his views on American politics that I loosely share. This dissatisfaction and lack of professionalism that the primaries have been displaying lately has been very announced by the laymen of the US. It has been a very, very long time since I've heard any of my friends, co-workers, or even acquaintances express any sort of contentment in the state of politics. But this is why his message is so enticing to me. If the promises our leaders hold are so polarizing yet never unkept, I might as well just throw away my vote. His candidacy is a message about our system and its condition. Enough of that snooze fest though. I believe I've made my position clear, and I've included enough relevant citations to support it. Here are some funny anecdotes that our Lord has instigated.
So we are here with the candidate Vermin Supreme, and your message today to the good voters of New Hampshire is?
Thank you for your support, sports. Right, Vermin Supreme, friendly fascist, tyrant you can trust. Let me run your life. I know what is best for you. I'm hoping to get the nomination here at the Republican convention. If that doesn't come off, I'll go up to Charlotte to attempt to get nominated up there. And if that doesn't work, I, of course, have the Free Pony Party backing me up.
Vermin's platform is simple: the mandatory toothbrushing laws, zombie preparedness, fully funded time travel research, and free ponies for all Americans.
Only I can save America. You think Mittens can? He can't. It's all me, baby. It's all me.
And in fourth place, is this guy. This is Vermin Supreme. Yeah, that's his name. And he has more than 200 votes. Supreme is a performance artist and political satirist known for wearing a boot as a hat. He's running for president for the 7th time on his pony economy platform, and very quickly. So apparently his top issues are 1, lack of ponies in America, 2, lack of mandatory toothbrushing law, and 3, zombie apocalypse awareness.
Thank you, my fellow Americans and others. My name is Vermin Supreme. I am here today to give you beautiful people a short lesson in ponynomics. Now, friends, many people ask me, Vermin, is it true that we will be using pony as actual currency? And I say that would be absolutely ridiculous until we can somehow make them very small.
Thank you very much. Have a really good day.
No, you have to go behind the fence. Just with the politicians too, that's where they belong. Behind the fence.
If that's a standard, if that's a
It is
standard,
a standard.
well, that's fair. Fair enough. Thank you very much, sir. I
No,
appreciate
thank you.
that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Lord Vermin is a pretty chill guy with a more decent message than most. See ya.
We're the Lady of Blues!